Ill Mind Vision. YouTube. Black Gods, what up? Let's go. Any opportunity to celebrate, it's always diamonds up. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good afternoon, good evening. We're back at it. New week, new opportunity, that's right. Oh, man. Playing all these grimy beats I made. No samples. Let's get it going. Let's get it cracking. Cat Kid, what's good? Hero, what's good? Put in Putska, welcome. Here from IG, let's go. Shout to my IG fan. Bufo's here. My Black God. RJC is in here, come on. Cat Kid, Melvin, Reese, Hero. Decisive, good morning to you. Let's go, let's go. Trying to freestyle over this shit. Let's get this YouTube shit going, man. How we feeling? How we feeling? Jordan, what's good? Anush, my boy. Good to see you here, man. That's right, Reese. God Hallow, good morning to you. Kendall, aka Kendall. Swan, I'm good. I'm good, man. We're feeling good. We're feeling good this morning. Welcome, welcome. Monday. We're back. Hero said, what you trying to do this live? We are live. We are doing it, right? 4WM LB, good morning to you too. Decisive said, hit the like button. Yes. Okay, so check it out. I am on YouTube now, which means that I need your help. I need your help. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, all the YouTube stuff. We got to start doing all the YouTube stuff because we got to get the algorithm going, right? I know I'm ill-minded and everything, but like I'm building this just like everyone else, from scratch, from the ground up. Consistency. I'm putting the work in, and I want to be here for you guys. And so hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel so you can chat will definitely let YouTube know that this is something that you guys want me to keep doing. So I'm going to keep doing this. I'm doing this for a year straight, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I want to do this for many years straight, and I want to see what happens. Biram said, what up? Can I ask you about the Timbaland Beatclub thing where it doesn't accept anything besides his style of music? No, I mean, Beatclub's great. Beatclub is very much... I like what Timbo is building there because it actually, from my perception, it's giving everyone an opportunity to be heard. So, yeah, Biram, if you have any questions about Beatclub, I'm more than happy to partake and answer and comment on anything you have in mind. RJC said the DX7 is so fire. Yeah, man. I've been having so much fun with my Yamaha DX7. I bought the keyboard, and it's if you don't know about the Yamaha DX7, it's literally one of the most classic, prolific keyboards to ever exist. I didn't do that on there, but it's such an incredible keyboard. I'm feeling so inspired by it. So yeah. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Another week, like I said in the first comment when we first started, it's another week and another week of opportunities for all of us. You know, I love Monday because it's a clean slate for the week. You can start setting goals, executing on your goals, one at a time, you know, and this is this industry is all about repetition. It really is. So let's do some Q&A. I mean, really, that's what I want to do here. If this is your first time joining, I appreciate you guys for being here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you can comment. But we're here to do some Q&A. We're here to talk. We're here to conversate. I'm not here to make beats, at least not right now for this channel. Here on YouTube, I'm really wanting to just connect with you guys on a conversational level. So ask me any question, or if you have any comments on anything, we can explore everything and anything. I want to go here. I'm going to start here with Buddha Boy. Buddha Boy said, yo, how did you get your first placements? How did it happen? So, Buddha Boy, I don't know how much research you may or may not have done on some of the stuff that I've been, doing over the years. But there's definitely some content that's out there where I'm talking about all of my placements and how I got these plaques and where that first started. But it traces all the way back, Buddha. It traces all the way back to being in my mom's basement and making beats, and it started with the consistency and the repetition. And you guys are going to notice moving forward, I'm going to be talking a lot about repetition because I talked about this before, but recently I've really realized that the key to achieving really anything in life. I know this is like kind of a bold statement, but the key to really achieving anything in life is truly the act of repetition, along with many other things. But without repetition, meaning without doing something over and over and over and over again, the chances of achieving that particular goal is probably impossible. So to answer your question, Buddha, for me, my first placements, let's define that. So technically my very first placement was back in 2003, ages ago. Some of you guys weren't even born. How crazy is that, right? But 2003 was the year that someone rapped over one of my beats and released it as a single. And the name of that song is called Remind My Soul, and it's by an artist named Acrobatic, who most of you guys probably never heard of. Back then, he was an underground rapper, super talented, one of the best, and he was signed to an independent label. And at the time, independent labels were very successful, right? It was a really crazy time in hip hop, and so I ended up producing a single for that artist named Acrobatic, and it was literally, that was when you can go to the record store and see your 12-inch vinyl on the rack. And so that was technically my first placement, to be honest. And the way that happened was, prior to that, I was, again, this goes back to the whole repetition thing. I was making beats in my mom's basement and uploading them on this website called undergroundhiphop.com. And there was a forum, a message forum on there for producers to post their beats. And I just remember making beats every day and posting them on that website. And the artist, Acrobatic, one of his friends at the time, found out about me and heard my beats and was working with Acrobatic and made the connection for me. And so if it wasn't for the consistency of making beats every day and then posting them online, I never would have gotten that first placement. And because of that placement gave me the confidence to say, you know what, I'm going to try doing this as a career. So that was literally like one of the defining turning points for me that made me like really pursue this 100%, meaning like forget everything else I'm doing and focus on this 100%, which is a huge sacrifice, but I did it. And so that was technically how I got my first placement. Now you're probably asking, okay, how did it lead to like all this, right? Well, it's really not like one answer that can do that, because every single one of these plaques that you see, every placement that I've gotten has been a result of something else that happens, right? So it's a chain. Every placement is a chain reaction of a previous conversation, a previous song that you did, a previous person that you met, right? And so over the years, you realize that in order to get placements, it's all a chain reaction of people that are talking about you. Okay? Let me, I don't remember if I've ever said this, but placements happen from the result of a chain reaction of people talking about you. Right? So I'll give you an example. My first like big official big placement was in 2012. And it was a song I produced called The Morning on Kanye West's Cruel Summer compilation. I don't know if you guys remember that. But I produced a song called The Morning, and I'll give you a quick story because the full story is all over YouTube, and I've said this in all of my interviews. But the quick version of how that happened was in 2010, I produced an album called Live from the Tape Deck for this underground rapper named Skyzoo from Brooklyn. This is when I was living in Brooklyn at the time, or I just moved to Brooklyn. And we did a whole album. And one of the guest rappers feature on our album was a rapper named Rhymefest. And as you may or may not know, Rhymefest is also really good friends with Kanye. So we did a collaboration with Rhymefest. He was on our album, 2010. And from that experience, I was able to really get to know Rhymefest. And so I ended up producing for his album and giving him beats and all that stuff. So then fast forward to, I want to say, early 2012, Rhymefest hit me and he said, hey, I'm with Ye. Do you have any beats? Can you send me beats? And I was like, of course. So I sent him a bunch of beats and I kept making new beats and sending them over to him. Eventually, they ended up picking one and I got my placement on Cruel Summer, which is Kanye West Good Music compilation, 2012. I think it was released in December of 2012. I might be off on that, but I think it was December. And that was because of Rhymefest. Rhymefest put that into motion. And I never would have met Rhymefest if I never produced the album for Skyzoo. And I can trace it even back even more. I met Skyzoo through a producer named Crisis back in 2006. And Crisis is part of a crew called Justice League, which is the crew that consists of Little Brother. And if you haven't heard of Little Brother is a group that had some big notoriety in the 2010s or in the 2000s, I want to say. And if you didn't know this, little fun fact, one of the rappers in the group Little Brother, his name is Fonte. Fonte is actually one of Drake's favorite rappers of all time. And he's gone on record saying that, right? Just a little fun fact. But I say that to say that Little Brother was really, really crushing it in the 2000s. And I got to really get to know them as well. And so it goes back to what I just said, right? Placements happen through people, a chain reaction of people talking about you, a chain reaction of people mentioning you, a chain reaction of people thinking about you. And so that's the key to placements, is you meet one person and you guys do something, and then that person goes off, does their thing, mentions you to someone else, and then they talk, and then you come up in another conversation somehow, and then all of a sudden it traces back to you, and you get a phone call, or you get a DM, or you get a message, or you get a text from either the original person or from some new person to say, hey, send me some beats, or hey, come to the studio, or yo, like, I heard your shit was fire. So yeah, crazy, right, Buddha? So that's, guys, that's the real secret sauce to placements. Like, I know there's all these like different people who talk about how, placements and how to get them, and you got to DM a million people. You can try stuff. There's no right or wrong way, but the real key is a chain reaction of people that trace back to you. And so how do you get people to talk about you, right? Well, you have to go out there and get to know people. You have to go out there and get to know people. And you have to understand that all of this information is just going to travel from one person to the next, right? So I'll give you an example. How do you get to Drake? Well, you don't just try to get directly to him. you live your life, and you make moves, and you meet new people, and you almost have to accept the fact that the universe and faith, and I'm going to talk about this a lot on this channel, but the universe and faith will coincide and will create the pathway for you to get to that particular person. Hold on 1 second. There's someone at the door. I think I have a package. Hold on. Yep, it was a package. I got a package, sorry. So the key, let's just end it off here with this question. The key to placements is word of mouth. Word of mouth. Every placement that I've gotten, every placement that anyone has ever gotten has been a result of someone talking about that person to someone else, that person thinking about that person, saying, oh, we should get beats from them, or, oh, hey, who did that? Oh, this person did it. He, she, they also did this. Oh, wow, we should involve them in our project. Or, oh, this person, you know, I ran into this person. Oh, you know them too? Oh shit, that's crazy. They still got the same number. Let me text them, right? And you set off this chain reaction. So it really truly is word of mouth. Now, all these other different strategies that people tell you guys, like you should DM everyone on Instagram, or you should pull up to studios, you should do this. All of that is true. And you should try those things. But as long as you're doing those things, understanding the fact that the only way that you're really going to get placements is if people talk about you, or if someone is talking about you that is somehow has a pathway to the particular person that could make that phone call and make that placement happen. Right? And so there's no right or wrong way to do it. There's no particular pathway. Every single song, every single placement happens with its own unique different pathway. Right? And it's so bizarre, because when you think about it on an album, when you look at an album and you look at the album credits, right? Like every single song has its own story of how it was made. And every story is very unique, right? Very, very unique. But it was all a result of people talking about that person or that producer or that songwriter, right? So again, that's the key. Word of mouth really, truly is the key to placements. It's not like signing up for a random website or doing this or doing this. It really is getting to know someone who can then talk about you to another person, and that person talks to another person, and that person talks to another person. Then all of a sudden it all gets traced back to you. Now, I will say another thing too, which is very crazy and very bizarre about placements, right? So top of mind, right? People need to be reminded of the fact that you exist. Okay? And it has to happen multiple times. You guys get it? So if your name is being brought up from multiple different sources, on multiple different occasions over a certain amount of time, that person is going to either notice it and take action, or continue to notice it and then eventually take action. So I'll give RJC, I'll use RJC as an example. Oh, RJC, wait. I think I follow RJC on Twitter. I think I know who that is, right? And then let's say, for instance, I'm in the studio with an artist and I say, yeah, who else? And this is a question I always ask. I say, who else are you working with? What are the producers? And they say, yeah, I'm working with T-. I'm working with, hopefully you ill, you know what I mean? Hopefully hopefully we make something today, you know what I'm saying? So I could work with you. And I've been working with this kid, RJC. Wait, RJC? You mean, this RJC? Oh shit, yeah, I follow him on Twitter already. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's cool. Right? So now all of a sudden, not only am I seeing RJC's name pop up, I'm hearing it, but now I'm like coincidentally working with this artist that also works with RJC, right? And then let's say like a week goes by and I'm in a studio in like Los Angeles, and then I'm in the kitchen like making coffee on the Keurig, and then some dude taps me on the shoulder, says, yo, Ilma, big fan. I'm like, yo, man, appreciate it. What's your name? Yo, I'm RJC. I'm like, oh wait, aren't you RJ? You're RJC, huh? Oh shit, that's crazy. So this is literally the third, in a matter of a week, this is the third time that RJC's name was brought up. So now I'm excited. Now I'm like, wait, okay, that's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. Why does your name keep coming up? Okay. Top of mind. Now all of a sudden I'm like, yo, RJC, yo, where are you working? Okay, cool. Come to the A room. I'm in there right now. Pull up real quick. Just, yeah, come hang out for a little bit. Now all of a sudden you're in there and you're hitting RJC's press and play on his beats. Because I said, yo, plug in and like play a couple beats. Now all of a sudden RJC is meeting people that are in the room and there's trust, right? Maybe like, and I'm just making up a scenario. Maybe like one of Beyonce's writers is in there, songwriters, and she hears one of RJC's beats. Now all of a sudden she's like, oh shit, what is this? You're RJC, yo, nice to meet you. Now there's trust. Now Beyonce's writer like fucks with RJC, and now she's like, yo, take my number. Send me some more shit. Guys, this is how placements happen. It's one person leads to another. Increased trust, top of mind. Your name is being mentioned. A month later, it's mentioned again to that same person. Trust, building trust. And then all of a sudden, those forces collide to your benefit. All right? And I know I'm like staying on this particular question for a while because this is the most asked question in the producer community, is like, how do I get placements? So moral of the story is this: do everything in your power to get to know as many people as possible, and do everything in your power to increase the amount of exposure and the amount of likely scenarios that people bring up your name. Right? I'll say something too from my experience, and this is going to be true for all of you guys. Maybe it's already true for some of you. Social media is such a powerful tool because everyone is on social media. So if someone is scrolling and they see your Instagram or they see a comment on Twitter, like, that counts as a reminder That counts as like top of mind. Oh, you're on the top of my mind. Like I just saw your name again. Right. And so for me, every time I do something crazy on, let's say, the NFT stuff, or I appear in this particular place, or I do this, whatever, like people hit me up. People hit me up. People that I haven't heard from in a while, right? If I get a new placement, every time I get a placement, my name is brought up. And it's brought up in certain conversations, certain rooms. Now all of a sudden they want to, it's top of mind. I'm reminding people, oh yeah, Illmind exists and he's doing this, this, and this. We should probably call him about that. Or we should probably have him come to the studio. Or I hit him up and ask him about NFTs, because it looks like Illmind is really active in the NFT shit. Like he spoke at Gary V's conference, he spoke at NFT NYC, he spoke at this conference, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing the metaverse shit. Crazy. What's Ill doing out here? Let me text this guy, because I want to know more. I need to know more. So top of mind, putting yourself out there, getting to know people, and understanding the fact that placements happen through word of mouth and through people talking about you, mentioning you in a conversation, and then those chain reactions happening that eventually lead to you. And it takes time. It takes time, and it takes repetition, right? I hope that made sense. RJC said, Ill, I love what you were saying about trust too, because it makes a lot of sense. Why would a big artist work with someone that is unknown? They would rather go with the safe route. Yeah, it's true. Trust is a very, very big component to all of this. Trust. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about trust for a second. Let's talk about trust. Let's talk about trust. Let's talk about trust. That's a whack song. Let's talk about trust. Listen. Don't steal that idea. That's a fire hook. Trust will get you more placements. Trust will get you into the rooms. Trust will get people to want to rap on your beats. Trust will get people to give you their phone number. Trust will get people to open your email and listen to your music. Trust. So how do you gain trust? How do you build trust with people? There's many ways. First way is to be referred, introduced to that person through someone that they trust, right? So, which kind of goes in line with like cosign. Cosigns are huge. If there's a cosign, then there's trust, and if there's trust, then you're in the room. You're in the room. You're sitting at the table, right? The whole point is to figure out how to get a seat at the table, right? How do you gain a seat, a chair at the table? And it's through someone within that trusted circle letting you in and bringing you in. And that person will bring you in if they trust you. And that when that person brings you in, then it's a very, very easy way for everyone else on that table to then trust you and for you to earn their trust. Right? So trust is a really, really, really powerful component to getting placements, getting invited to the studio, getting someone's email, getting someone's number. Is trust. And the easiest way to do that is through someone else. A second way to earn trust is to gain success on your own and prove that you are a high performer in whatever it is that you do, right? So I always, and again, I always use myself as an example, right? So and again, I don't want to sound, you know, I don't, but you guys trust me. I'm hoping you guys trust me as a real producer, a credible producer, because I am successful and because I have gained enough notoriety as a music producer in this industry with enough trusted artists and brands that you may have heard of, which legitimizes who I am, what I do, my profession, and me as a professional music producer. And so I've been able to earn you guys' trust because of all the records that I've produced, right? If I didn't have any placements, or if I had 0 plaques on the wall, and I've never had placements ever in my life, it would be extremely difficult for me to earn you guys' trust. And this is true for everyone. So another great way to earn someone's trust is to become a professional in whatever industry you're doing, and whatever it is you're doing, whatever your talent or service is, have a track record, right? It's like having a resume. Companies lean towards, when they look at resumes, when they want to hire someone, they lean towards people that have more experience, people that are trusted, people that were known to execute, right? Like, this is my resume. I'm known, Illmind is known to execute this. So when I'm invited to a room, or someone asks me for beats, or asks me for my services, or just wants me to be around, for the most part, you know that I'm here to deliver, because I've done it many times over many years with many people. And so that's why I've been able to earn trust. So again, become a professional in your field, and people will earn your trust. People will trust you more. So then how do you do that? Well, if you don't have the plaques and you don't have the notoriety yet, and you don't have the money, you don't have the people, you don't have the resources, if you don't have anything, you're starting from nothing, and you want to get to that point where people are trusting you and people are paying you and they want you to be in the rooms and they just want you. You want to be high in demand. You want word of mouth. You want people to talk about you. You want to get invited. How do you get there? Here's how you get there. This is literally how you get there. You get there by being really good at something. Okay? By doing something really good that helps someone that those people or that people know that they can't get, or that they're getting from you that helps them in some kind of way. Excuse me. Right? So if you're starting from nothing and you have no placements, you have no plaques, you have no reason for people to trust you, you can earn people's trust by offering something and being really good at something. right? If you're really good at playing guitar and you have 0 plaques, we have no mutual friends, I have literally no reason to trust you. Not as a person, but your services as a guitar player. If you're really good at playing guitar and I see a video, or if I hear what you can compose and what you can play, I'm probably going to want to work with you, right? Because I can't do what you do. I don't know how to play guitar like that. And so you can help me and I can help you in the process. And I don't care if you have 0 placements. And I don't care if no one knows who you are. In fact, that's better. Because now you're playing and your guitar riffs are like our little secret now, right? So offer something and be really good at something, right? So how do you become really good at something, right? We're digging into the peel. It's like taking the onion and going through the layers. I'm fucking crying right now. Like, you know when you peel an onion and you just start crying? Like, we're trying to cry more. The tears are starting to come down because we're peeling the layers, right? So how do you become really, really good at something? Batista, Squad of Knights is in here. Let's go. I don't want to lose my train of thought, but Batista, I fucking love you, bro. Listen. How do you become really good at something so that you can offer it to someone later? Repetition. Okay? So it goes back to what I've said in the beginning of the stream. It goes back to telling you guys that I'm going to be talking about repetition a lot. Repetition. If you repeatedly do something over and over and over again, you are going to get good. You just are. Like, you are. Don't ever let anyone try to make you believe that you can't become pretty good at something if you fucking keep doing it. And I'm not talking about, oh, I'm doing it for 6 months every day and I'm supposed to be professional. No, like, the timeline is irrelevant. The fact of the matter is that if you keep doing a particular thing over and 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 over, you're going to become above average. And then if you keep going over and over and over and over and over, you're going to get good. And if you keep going over and over and over, you're going to be really fucking good at it. And if you're really good at that thing, you're going to get invited. People are going to want to work with you based on whatever service you provide that you're really good at. This is just 100% true. There's no debating that, right? So repetition. Let's go through the timeline. Keep doing a thing. Pick something that you want to be good at. Pick your passion, right? I don't want to say this again because I've said this in the past 2 streams, but choose something that you would do for free. Choose something that you can keep doing over and over without getting tired of doing it, right? So making beats. A lot of you guys are producers. So you love making beats. Cool. Keep making beats for years. You become really good at it. Cool. Now I'm really good at it. So now I need to provide my beat making service to as many people as possible. I need to provide my beat making service to as many people as possible. And when you provide that to many people, then people start to earn your trust. You have 1 person that trusts you. Now you have 5 people. Now you have 10 people. Now you have 100 people that trust you. Now guess what? When they trust you, what do they start doing? They start talking. They start talking to each other. They start referring. It's word of mouth. They start to tell their friend. They tell their engineer, oh, Ilman produced this. Oh, this person. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Cool. Boom, boom, boom. Now you have, and now it's starting to compound. You guys know what compounding is? It's like compound interest. 1 turns into 2, turns into 4, turns into 8, but it keeps compounding. Now, all of a sudden, the word of mouth is starting to kick in. People, more and more people are trusting you, and starts to compound. And now the opportunities start to increase. Now you've basically made a fire from nothing. You've literally started a fire from nothing. It's like being stuck in the woods and no one giving a fuck about you, and finding 2 sticks and doing the I don't know. I'm not like I was in Boy Scouts, but like I don't know how to like start a fire. I know I should probably learn. Any of you guys who know how to start a fire in the chat room, please indulge us. But you know, you take a couple sticks, you take a couple twigs, okay? You take a little fucking the little what are they? Little weed, tumbleweed, to and then you fucking you take it, and then you fucking start the momentum, the smoke, and starts to smoke, and then you get a little flame, and then you fucking blow on it, and then you nurture it, and then it becomes a natural fire, right? Like, you can literally do that. Every single one of you guys can do that. I did it. So repetition, become good at something, offer it to as many people as possible, and then let word of mouth happen. Let your brand and your reputation reflect your work, and then that's it. Now, Silver King said, I just know how to make beats that are fire. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I can almost guarantee that almost every single one of you guys in here can probably make fire beats, right? I have no doubt in my mind. These days, making really good beats is not the issue. It's not the issue. You know what the issue is? The issue is that you haven't taken these beats and gotten people to talk about your beats. You have to get as many people as possible to talk about your beats, to talk about you, to talk about what you're doing, talk about why they should care about your beats, why they should care about your loops, why should they care about your packs, why should they care about your videos, why should they care about XYZ, anything. That's where the disconnect is. Okay? So how do you get people to talk about your beats? Well, consistency and getting your beats to as many people as possible. Letting as many rappers rap on your beats as possible. Right? And you can do that online. You can do all that shit online. Right? Casper Stang said, when you send out beats and they're being placed, will you, for the most part, finish the production of the song too, or will someone else usually finish it? It all depends. It all depends. Sometimes you send it and whatever you did on it is the final product. Sometimes there's other producers that come in and alter it. Sometimes, and a combination of both. It just all depends. It all depends. There's no right or wrong. Casper also said, who's doing the tracking of the vocals? Will you receive the vocal files or do you usually send your beat stems? Again, it depends. Sometimes you're sending out beat stems. Very rarely do they send you the vocals, because a lot of times with the bigger artists, they have their own engineers. They have their own, people that handle that. Unless you're in the room creating the song from scratch, technically that's you vocal producing as well. But unless you're really like mixing the thing, most times they're not going to rely on you for that step. They just want the beat, they want the stems, and they want to be able to just put it into their Pro Tools or whatever their master file is and work on the song. Sometimes you're in the room, sometimes you're not. Again, it all depends. Suwan97 said, how do you build or create a hook? Is it based on the main melodies of the beat or something simpler to go with the beat? You try stuff. You try stuff and then try a bunch of things, and then whatever sounds the best, whatever is the most catchy, whatever makes the most sense for the song, whatever feels the best, is your hook. That's all, right? I like vocal comping. So when I'm in the studio and we're trying to figure out a concept or a hook or whatever, we'll just try like a bunch of vocal ideas, and then I'll just have them go in there and just like try a bunch of stuff, go in there, try it again, and then we'll go back and listen to every single thing we recorded, and then we say, oh, that part's cool, keep that, put a little marker on there, or cut that, select it, drag it down to another track because we're saving it. Ooh, that part's pretty cool, but I think we could change a couple words. Let's pull that. And so we're listening back and we're pulling all of our favorite parts that are the most catchy, the ones that feel the best. And then once we have our comps that we like, and then we start choosing, okay, this sounds like it could be a hook. This sounds like it could be a pre-hook. We need you to go back in there and fill this part in because this part feels a little empty. So like we need another part to lead into that, right? This could be part of like first half of the first verse, right? So it's like Legos. We're manifesting literally the song from thin air. And so the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to try a bunch of things and then let whatever it is that comes out happen, and then you start to choose what there's like you can't create a painting without colors or without paint, right? And you need brushes too. So you have the paint brushes and you have the canvas, but you have no paint, right? You have no paint. You don't have any colors. You don't even really know what you're about to make most of the time, or what kind of song to write. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And so the best way to do that is to just try a bunch of shit. Just try a bunch of shit. A lot of it's going to suck, but it's supposed to suck. The key is to do many things that suck and then take the stuff that's good, right? Pull the stuff that feels good. Pull those little genius moments, right? That's the best way to make a song. And even a beat too. Like, you can't sit there and make a beat and expect the first drum pattern to like be the fire drum pattern, like, or the first like rim shot that you select, that you commit to be like the one, right? I mean, you could get to that point, and I feel like I'm sort of at that point where I'm not really. I've kind of trained my mind to commit to things that feel the best, but for me, it was repetition and muscle memory for 20 years and many, many hours of my life where when I commit to a sound, it feels good. And in my mind, that's like the best option because that's the option that I chose. And I'm not like trying to chase a sound. It's more like, this feels good, we're going to go with this, right? And so with practice and with repetition, you start to gain that muscle memory of knowing like what sounds good, what doesn't, what belongs, what doesn't belong. And it's all subjective too. It's all subjective, right? Especially in songwriting or making beats, everything is subjective. So if you have good taste, then you're going to choose good stuff, right? If you have good taste, you're going to choose a really good snare. If you have good taste, you're going to choose a really good vocal melody. If you have good taste, you're going to come up with a really good song concept, right? If you have good taste, you're going to know what kind of snare to use with what kind of hi-hat to use, right? MK Ultra said, smash them likes. Smash the like button, guys. Come on. We're building up this YouTube. I need you guys to let YouTube know that we're here. We're doing some Q&A. We need to let YouTube know that you want more of this. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the bell icon. I really appreciate you guys, for real, for being here. So yeah, that would be the main idea behind the song creation process. Alejandro Rodriguez said, how much are expected to have a solid mix and master as a producer? I overthink my mix master and it delays my release schedule. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. I mean, just, again, you're not going to like my answer. I feel like most people don't like my answers because they're so, like, obvious, but there's no other right answer to this. You just want to make something that sounds good. Okay? And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the point I'm trying to make. There is no such thing as a perfect mix. There's no such thing as a perfect master. All you can do is compare your shit to what you consider sounds good. Right? So when it comes to mixing and mastering, compare it to a song that you feel like sounds really good on the mix and master. And then work to the point where you can get your song to sound similar to that. Right? Don't be afraid to compare, guys. Comparing is a very, very effective tool in your tool belt as a musician. Compare the fuck out of your music to the music that you love. Right? If you love the way Metro's drums sound, then work your ass off until your shit sounds just like Metro. From a quality standpoint, volume, texture, and then from there you start to realize, or you start to build your own way of doing it. Exactly. Bufo said referencing, right? Always reference everything. Always reference everything. Compare your shit and reference. Because then you'll have a guideline. You'll have a guideline of what to do, where to go, and you'll know if your shit sounds good. Right? RJC, one of my black gods, says, one of the biggest things I've learned from Ill is to really stop worrying about what DAW you use, the compression you use, etc., and just stick to the fundamentals and keep it simple. Yeah. It's really true, man. It's really true. Yeah. It's really, really true. Okay, so Anush, one of my other black gods, says, speakers have become more capable in the last few years. Do we as producers compensate with mixing to get a punchier, harder hitting sound as the consumer side of audio evolves? No, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Anush. It's again, if you know it sounds good, like, you'll never have anything to worry about. Right? You'll never have anything to worry about. Like, if you know what sounds good, you'll never have anything to worry about. We have trollers in here again. Oh, Bufo, my mod, Bufo. Let's get this person out of here. Okay, Swan97 also said, if producers earn 20,000 per week, then what I don't understand, or maybe it doesn't enter my head, is that those people who buy are new people every time, or are they same people buying from the same producer? Well, it's combination of both. I think if you're generating 20K per month, it's always going to be a combination of repeat customers and new customers as well, right? And again, it fluctuates. It depends on what you're selling, who's buying, what kind of marketing you're doing. You know, if you're doing Facebook ads, are you targeting new people? Are you creating products and services that are more repeatable for your current customer base, or you know, all that business stuff? It all just really depends. But for the most part, I guess in our field, it's really a combination of both, right? It's really a combination of both. Ape Sterling said, "How do you bring attention to a city that has no musical value, whether or it be beats or artists? San Antonio is a tough place to come out of." Well, first of all, Ape, I think it's a little unfair to say that San Antonio has no musical value. I know what you're trying to say, but I don't think that that's entirely true. In fact, I think that if you come from a city that isn't necessarily known yet for their music, you're actually at an advantage. You're at an advantage because it's a smaller pool of people, and you have more of an opportunity to really shine in your city, right? Like if you're from LA, for instance, I mean, that's tough because if you're trying to, you know, there's so many people out there that have done it and that are doing it. But if you're from San Antonio, where you say like the music scene isn't as, you know, there, then you know, depending on what you're trying to go for, that's a big opportunity for you to really put on for your city, right? Or not put on for your city, but to really like create some momentum, because there's not as much noise. Right? Saga MC says, "What's up, Illmind? How do you go about sending your verses on a beat for placements?" What do you mean? Sending verses? Like rap verses? How do you go about sending your verses on a beat for placements? If you're referring to like hooks, like singing hooks, I don't know if that's what you mean though. I want you to re-ask that question, Saga. I don't know if I entirely understand that. God's will God's will said, "If I'm trying to pull up to a studio with no connections, how would you go about finessing your way into getting in a room, or at least talking to a big artist?" So really good question, legitimate question. Here's the issue with this. Now, you could do things to finesse your way in. I wouldn't recommend finessing your way. But there's nothing wrong with trying something. I don't have any direct advice or like exact finesse moves per se. But if you have no connections and you're trying to pull up to the studio, it's probably not a good idea to try to finesse your way in, and I'll tell you why. If I had a session with 2 Chainz, I don't know, 2 Chainz, right? I would be pretty, and 2 Chainz would probably be like pretty upset if a stranger finessed their way in the studio. That doesn't typically happen, and if it does happen, it usually means trouble. You know, if you don't belong in the room, you probably shouldn't try to finesse your way into the room. You know, and these days there may or may not be, you know, things in the studio that can get you really hurt. So it's a dangerous endeavor. Let's just say that. It's a dangerous, potentially very dangerous endeavor to try to finesse your way in a room. Now, that being said, I know what you mean. The best way to get in these rooms really goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Is you gotta get people to want you to be in the room. And how do you get people to want you to be in the room? Through word of mouth, emotion, some type of emotional feeling that drives that person to want you to be there, right? The thing about music is, especially when you're dealing with like big artists and people that are rich and people that are creative, like, you have to understand, if there's artists are rich and they have money and they're popular, and for the most part they do whatever the fuck they want, and they're around people that they choose to be around. Why? Because they have that luxury, and they have enough money, and they have enough resources to customize. I really want you guys to listen to me, to this part. I think it's really important. They have enough to customize their life, every aspect of their life. They go to a studio, they have very particular about who's in there, right? They go, they want this type of food, they can get it. Okay? They want this type of beat, they can get it. They want to work with this person, they could probably make it happen. Okay? So you guys have to remember, these people, for the most part, can get and have almost everything they need. Okay? So you have to be mindful of, how can I be a part of that, if that's what you want, right? And so how do you become a part of someone's life, of someone who has everything that they could never have? You have to figure out something that you can offer that they don't currently have yet. Okay? It's like trying to buy a gift for someone who's fucking rich. Right? Think of it this way, guys. Think of it this way. It's like buying a gift for someone who has everything. What do you do? What do you offer? Right? There's nothing left, but there is something left. And that's your job to figure that out. It's your job, it's our job to figure out, what can I provide to get into this person's emotion, to gain my trust, and to become aware of my services, and to follow through and use my services. Right? And so, and all of these things function on an emotional level. So it's emotion, right? That's why trust is important, because that's functions off of emotion. Like, I trust this person, bring them into the studio. Bufo said, pull up with pizza and some wings. Might work. You know? You pull up with pizza and wings, that makes someone happy. But look, I will say this, Bufo. If you pull up with pizza and wings to a studio, they're going to think you're an intern. There's nothing wrong with that. But going from like being the guy who like brought the food, which might get you in the room, it's not going to mean you're going to be able to hit play, because you've introduced yourself as the pizza guy. Hey, I'm the pizza guy. I'm the guy that brings you the food. And there's nothing wrong with that. But from the context of if you're trying to like be in there and be taken seriously and make music with them, it might be hard to go from pizza to, yo, give me your beats, right? Your beats are fire. But again, every situation is unique. It's very subjective. Who knows? Right? Again, if you pull up, Cap Kid said pull up with Kush. If you pull up with Kush, you're just the Kush guy. You're the guy that comes and brings Kush, right? And who knows? That could work. Eventually it could work, right? I think there was a rumor, I don't know if it's true, I don't confirmed it, but Schoolboy Q was like the weed guy at one point, right? I think. And then he's just started rapping. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not exactly sure. Saga MC with another question said, so when you send beats replacements, does it work the same way for songwriting? To get noticed as a songwriter, would you send a hook? Yes. So if you're a songwriter and you're trying to get put on, do hooks with as many producers as possible. Do as many hooks with as many producers as possible. And I will say this, producers, if you want to increase your chances of getting placements, get hooks sung on your beats. Get hooks on your beats. Get hooks on your beats. At least have two versions. Have the instrumental version and then have the version with the hook on it. So, Saga, producers need you. And you need producers. Right? Which is why I started my NFT project, Squad of Nights. It brings songwriters and rappers and producers and engineers together to collaborate and create momentum and build trust with one another over time. That's what my NFT project is, Squad of Nights. When I stepped into it, I started to realize how powerful NFT blockchain technology is. And then I started to think about all of the stuff that I've been doing in the past, 10 years. Past the aux, starting one of the first music producer podcasts back then called Blap on the Radio, the monthly club, Platinum Club. And essentially it was an event that ultimately brought people together. Music producers, rappers, singers, songwriters, engineers, together in one room to vibe, play each other's music, network with each other, eat pizza or whatever. I'm super excited to tell you guys about this project. It's basically, the project is an NFT launch. It's a collection of generative night pieces, and each night piece represents a member of our community, which is called the Squad of Nights. People who own the NFT are essentially, music creators, music producers, even graphic designers, and entrepreneurs and music managers, all coming together in this community. So the whole idea behind this project is to bring people, like I said, bring community together. If you're a rapper, you're gonna need a music producer. You're gonna need someone who can engineer your songs, right? An audio engineer. You're gonna need someone who creates the artwork for your music. You're gonna need either an assistant or a manager to help you push the business side of your music. A Squad of Nights project is meant to expose you to other like-minded creative individuals that you could come together with to ultimately help you create your music. The Squad of Nights can come together and network with each other, right? We're gonna do what we like to call sound clashes. And then we have a reward system called the Nights Token. We have exclusive merchandise, and you're also going to be able to redeem your Nights tokens for studio time at premier studio locations across the globe. A lot of these NFTs don't really have any purpose. Like, I want to genuinely give back to the community. All the info for minting Squad of Nights will be in the Discord. Okay, so just go to squadofnights.com, and we're excited to launch this. Yeah, man. Squatter nights. Like, that's it. It's all, everything has been said in that video. Everything. Reese Crawford said, if you were an artist, how would you promote your music? How would I promote my music? I'm just waiting for this beat to load. I don't know why it's taking forever. There it is. Okay. Just work, make enough music to the point where I can release a new song every Friday through TuneCore, and just flood all the obvious stuff. Just flood the market with as much music as possible. It's the only way. It's the only way that makes the most sense. I'll be honest with you, bro. I would put out a new song every day on TuneCore for a month. Repetition, man. You can't worry about anything else but creating the music and then putting it out and then doing it as much as possible. If you're not doing those three things, then you're never going to make it. Never going to make it. Make as much music as possible, put it out, and do it as many times, as often as possible, for as long as possible. If you're not doing that, it's not going to work. Your career is not going to take off. It's not going to happen. I know that's fucked up, but it just is. No, astronomics. There's confusion between quantity and quality. No one gives a shit. No one gives a shit about either or. Okay? Quality is subjective, so that's out the window. Quality is subjective, dude. Something that is not quality to you could be super quality to someone else. So quality is too subjective for that to even be a factor. Okay, so let's try to ignore the quality thing because it's subjective. Yes, it exists, but music it's art, so it doesn't matter. People don't give a fuck. People will resonate with whatever they resonate with. And then quantity, 100% is a factor. Unless you're huge, unless you're someone on the wall. Right? If you're someone on the wall, then you have that luxury. If you're Kendrick, you can put an album out every 5 years and still be considered top 3, top 5. Because you're Kendrick. Right? So, yeah. Yeah. Just gotta make a ton of music and put it all out. Put it all out. All the time. All the time. Every day. Every week. Every Tuesday, every Friday. Twice a week. New song. New song. Boom. Back in the studio. Make another one. New song. Boom. New song. New song. Repetition. People start talking. Word of mouth. Trust. Word of mouth. Trust. Ooh, I'm seeing this person everywhere. Ooh, I heard of that. That's what I would do. Just make a bunch of music and put it all out. Put it all out. That's what I would do. Guys, amazing Monday stream. I really wish we got through more. I really wish I got through more. I see my man Slay in here. Slay has said, quantity will undoubtedly give you quality because of the practice you put in. Genius. So true. So true. Amazing stream today, guys. We're really getting the YouTube thing going. Someone's at the door. I think it's my Task Rabbit. So I gotta go. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. I'm out. Subscribe, like, hit the bell icon. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. Appreciate y'all.